guys, it's Natalie. We travel all over the world with our dogs, and recently I've been having a lot of questions from people who want to know how we train our dogs to behave everywhere we go. Whenever we're on holiday, I always get tons of compliments on how well behaved our dogs are, especially Naya because she's a husky and apparently people are not used to well behaved huskies. So today I want to give you some tips on how you can make your dog behave everywhere so you can also travel with your pup. I think these tips can also be applied when you have a dog that's quite reactive on the leash. So yeah, let's dive in. First of all, if you get a dog from when it's a puppy, that's a really good opportunity to socialize your dog. What we did when we just got Naya was literally take her anywhere. So she would come with me to my friends when I went to a restaurant, to my family. She would go in the car. In the beginning she used to yap all the time. She always wanted to be on my lap in the car. But now she's so used to it and it's really great. She's not afraid of anything. When we just got her, it was the World Championship of Football. So she would come to the city with us and we would watch football there. There were so many people making noise, yelling, and she just didn't care. She just slept through it because she was so used to it. Also, she was super cute. She was like a little wolf, so everyone wanted to come and pet her. People were like, oh, you have a wolf from Game of Thrones. And she got just so much attention from other people and it really helped her in her development. Also a good thing is that since we have a doggy daycare, there are tons of new dogs coming here. So make your dog go to doggy daycare, let them interact with other dogs, make them meet people, let them get used to loud noises. For example, if you are at home, then take a spoon and a pot and just make a bit of noise, give them treats, make more noise, give them treats, and every time make something positive out of it. Also, wherever you go, make sure that there is always a fun component for the dog. So if you go to a busy place, take a lot of treats and also take some time out sometimes. If you feel like it's too much for your dog, then just take a little step back. Even if you get a rescue dog, it's still possible to socialize them the same way like you did a puppy. You just need to adapt in a couple of ways. So for anyone who thinks that an adult dog, you can't train them anymore, it's not true. We got Peluche when he was 2.5 years old and we took him to Italy for a month, while some weeks before he would still try to bite us. He couldn't walk on a leash or anything. So if we can do that, you can definitely do the same. So if you have a rescue dog and like Peluche, they're not they're not used to anything, then just start with small steps. Try even to just what we did was we even just put the harness on him at home. We let him walk around in the garden without even putting the leash on, and with very small steps we always got a little step further. In the end we started taking just little walks around the garden, then in the street, and always a bit more and more, and then after a while you can just make really big walks to bigger places. So, but it's very important to build it up. So don't go to the busiest street right away. At first go in a very calm street, maybe a field, a small village, a bit of a bigger village. So yeah, also for the car rides, I would build it up. So you start with a small car ride, like just to your parents or something. And then you start going to a little doggy park. Make sure it's always a fun place for the dog. So don't just take them on car rides to the vet or something, but really do fun stuff. So the dog would always think like, it's the car, we're gonna do something fun now, or it's a leash, let's go on a walk, it's fun. Something that I think also is very handy is if you use a harness instead of a leash, because I personally feel like I have more control over the dogs. So our dogs are mostly well behaved, but although people might think that they're always well behaved, it's definitely not the case. When Naya sees a small white dog, sometimes she can get really excited, and if she would have a collar on, that just wouldn't work because she would maybe start squirming around and maybe even get out of it. But with the harness, she has a front buckle and a buckle on the back. And I like to attach both, because then if something happens, I really have full control over her, and I can easily redirect her without pulling on the leash even, but just to get her attention a bit. So I think that's really handy, especially if you have a reactive dog, to have those double safety measures just in case. Then I think the most important thing, the most important command, and it's so easy to learn, is the look at me. So that's something that worked really well with Peluche. So basically it's super easy. You just take a treat, you make it go to your eyes. The dog is obviously going to look at the treat. You say, look at me, you give it a treat. You keep doing that. After a while you do it without a treat. And then after a time you just say, look at me. When the dog looks at you, you give him a treat. You can even just, when you're sitting in the couch, you see that your dog is looking at you, you say like, look at me, good, look at me, you give him a treat. And when we're out anywhere with Naya and Peluche, with both, it works really well. When they get excited, when they see something and we say, look at me, they will sit down and look at us. Also, a sit is really handy. Like if your dog knows how to sit, you just make him sit and focus on you. And most of the times that's really enough to distract them from what's going on. And you just have to distract them in that little moment. The key here is to know when is that moment. So whenever you go somewhere, keep looking at your dog. It's not like you have to look at him the whole time, but if you have a dog that's like easily reactive and you see a trigger coming, for example another dog, then anticipate before your dog goes into the red zone, as I call it. So you have different stages. You have the green zone where he didn't see the dog yet, nothing's going on. Then you have orange, where he sees the dog and he's getting ready, and that's the moment you need to intervene. Because if the dog goes into the red and he's full on barking, it's very hard to get them out of that moment. And sometimes the orange moment is very short. So really try to know, like if you see a dog, to already anticipate on it. Also something that can help, especially if your dog already is in the red zone, is to just take a step back. Definitely don't get angry, don't start yelling at him. That really does not work. You're just going to add more chaos to the whole situation and get frustrated. But just take a step back. If there is like a little road a side road you can go in, like just go out of the way and snap your dog out of it. So then you can do the positive thing, make him look at you, distract them with treats. Treats, always take treats with you. They're really a lifesaver. If your dog is already very well behaved, then you don't need to always carry around treats. But in the beginning with Peluche, we just carry treats around the whole time because he's very food sensitive, and it works really well, because they just want to look at the treats instead of at whatever is there. And they're walking back. So yeah, also an important thing when you're traveling with dogs is to sometimes take some rest. It's very intense for them, all those new smells. Even if you're not traveling, if you're just like doing a lot of new stuff, it can be very intense. There's a lot of stimuli for them, and just like we sometimes get overwhelmed, they might also get overwhelmed. They might also get frustrated because they see so many dogs and they can't go to them, they can't play with them because they're on a leash. So take some days maybe, that's if you're away for 3 weeks, for example. Every week you will plan a day that you're just going to chill a bit with the dog, do some calm activities, and that really helps for the days ahead. Sometimes it just gets hard. We went to Italy with Peluche and Naya and Yoda. It all went great. Right after we took Peluche and Naya to the UK, and Peluche started to get more reactive on the leash as a reaction to Naya, who always likes to whine a little. And it was very annoying and unsettling. And what we did, because in that moment he went very fast to the red face, was that we got a muzzle for him, and it's not fun for him to get muzzled. So we just muzzled him a couple of times out of safety for the dogs and for us, also because we didn't have him for that long and we were not sure how it was gonna evolve, and we just wanted to be better safe than sorry. But actually it worked super well because we did that for 2 days, and after. sorry about that, the dogs started barking. So yeah, what I was saying was that after a while we would just, if Peluche didn't react to us saying look at me, we would just get the muzzle, and immediately he would just stop because he saw the muzzle and he didn't want to get muzzled. And it's not even like a real punishment for the dog. It's not the same as, for example, hitting your dog. That would be an awful idea to do. But it just shows him that, okay, you know, if you're gonna act like this, then you're gonna walk around with the muzzle, and it's not that much fun. And it really helped us a lot. And now I think we even never take the muzzle with us anymore. The look at me works great. So if you can build on all those positive moments, definitely do that. But just in case if there would be a moment or you don't feel fully certain that your dog is gonna behave well, or you're even a bit anxious yourself, then you can just take the muzzle with you, even if it's just for yourself to feel better. That's also really important, is how you feel. So I used to give dog training as well, and a lot of times people have a dog that is very reactive when they're walking with them, but if I would take the dog out, the dog was not reactive. And it's because your dog really senses how you feel. And chances are that if you have a dog that's reactive, you already start to panic when you see another dog approach. So you might see that dog coming and you feel like, oh no, he's gonna bark, but your dog doesn't know that you're anxious because of him. He thinks, oh, there is someone coming, and clearly my owner feels in distress, I have to do something about this. And that's kind of what you want to avoid, because this way you're only making it worse. So it really starts within yourself. Be calm yourself, and if you are calm, your dog will also be calm. This is, I think, even the biggest tip that I can give you, is really to focus on yourself first and to work on that first, because the dogs are really a mirror of us, and that can be maybe a bit of a confrontation sometimes. But whenever I come home and I'm fully stressed and I'm annoyed, those are the moments when dogs are gonna get into a fight, because they feel that I'm super stressed and that I'm actually ready to start a fight. So yeah, work on yourself first, then your dog. Positive things. So yeah, I think that's about it. Definitely what's also very important here is to reward your dog whenever he's being calm. So don't only focus on those negative things, or don't only reward him when there is a dog coming and you're trying to get his attention. But if you're walking on the street and your dog is being a good dog, then just say, good boy, good girl. And even if nothing is happening, still practice the look at me. Just like whenever you're walking in your neighborhood, just sometimes just look at me and sit, and you reward them, so they just know it's part of it and they get really used to it. It really has to become a habit, and after a while, if you keep practicing this, your dog is going to look at you a lot of the times just out of his own. Even Peluche, when he sees another dog approach, he already looks at us like, oh, now I'm gonna get a treat. And that's really the thing you want to accomplish here, that the things that used to trigger them, that they turn into something that is now associated with something good. And instead of thinking I have to get angry and bark and be annoying, they're gonna think, now another dog is approaching, so this is an opportunity for me to sit, look pretty, and just stare at my owner until I get a treat. So yeah, that's I think one of the main tips that I can give you. There are plenty of other things on how to make your dog behave, but I think if you apply these tips, that you're already gonna go a long way. And like I said, if we can do this with Peluche, then you can also do this. We just did that with those simple tips, while there was a dog that used to want to attack us when he just got here, and only 2 months later we took him to Italy for a month. So like I said, if we can do that, then you can definitely pull it off with your dog that's already lying in the couch with you and wants to go on walks and please you. So thanks for watching the video. Please like if you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments or DM me on Instagram at Naya Tribe. And subscribe to our channel for more. Thank you. Bye.